What's up, fuckers? This is going to be another sit-down version of these videos. I can't seem to think of another premise to talk about what's going on and what I'm doing other than this premise right here. It's difficult to be on a drive somewhere to show you the scenery and at the same time explain what this video is about today. I'm going to be talking about what you're going to see here, what you're not going to see here, and that's about it. As you heard, the intro, the first thing I said was, "What's up, fuckers?" That is a phrase that I use with my buddy Joe, used to use with my cousin, all my male friends. Do not take it as a derogatory statement. It's oddly a term of endearment. I mean no insult by it, but it is how I speak and how that's not going to change just because of this YouTube criteria. They don't really give a shit, I don't believe, about what you say, at least cursing wise, until you're big enough to have a real impact, and that's not going to happen. So I'm sure if anybody who has watched any of the videos has noticed, there has basically been zero editing done. I can't say one way or the other whether that's going to continue. I would say certainly on instances like this, it's going to remain the same. Like I say, if there's a driving video, like what we did through Death Valley and Yellowstone and whatever, I will probably dub out the wind noise and try to put, I don't know, some music of some sort that YouTube will not copyright strike against you. But that all remains to be seen. I don't want the premise that I always get confused by with YouTube channels who become a certain size. I guess it doesn't even have to wait until they become a certain size. What I can't understand is why they make it a job before they even start making money at it. I am not a volunteer for a thankless job that's going to require hours and hours of editing and things like that just to release a stupid little video that 4 people are going to watch. I'm doing this because maybe it's a little bit of therapy, a little bit of interaction with an inanimate object such as a camera to spill. You will hear a lot of nothing when I'm trying to remain on point and have to think about what my next point might be, just as you heard. As I had mentioned in one of the other videos prior, I had some novel, or maybe not so novel, ideas as to what to do to try to have fun on this channel. Those things aren't going to happen. I was going to stage little interactions with my wife to where we fake argued and then cut away to a cloud of smoke and fists and feet and things like that, like the old cartoons. And then we come back live, and I've got my arm in a sling and a black eye, and she's sitting there rubbing her knuckles, just trying to be funny. Like I say, the Benny Hill thing where she chases me around with a broomstick. Going to try to have fun with things like that. Obviously, that's not going to happen. I'm trying my mic on my sleeve instead of on my collar. We're going to see how it seemed like I was louder than I should have been when it was under my chin. So we're going to try it a little further away from my big ass mouth. It may come to a point where I just give it all together because I don't need it. I don't know. We'll see. I do have an editing program on my computer. I believe I've used it a grand total of one time. I've worked through it a little bit. Have no capabilities with it. I'm sure I could watch a tutorial and pick up a majority of the functions that I would ever need. But like I say, right now, I really don't care. Not enough people are watching to make me care. And there won't be a point where there are enough people to make me care. A buddy I worked with in, I won't say what town, but I'll tell you it was North Dakota. I worked with for a short time. Kyle talked me into doing this again. Now, granted, it was still almost a year and a half ago when he talked me into it, but things have changed since then. The video I released today on when I go to pick up the beast here from a storage facility in, was it Rexburg or Idaho Falls? I can't recall. I think it was Rexburg, Idaho, outside of Yellowstone. I put that in storage the winter of the fall, I guess, of 2024, I believe. And I picked it up. No, it would have been 2023 because I picked it up in 2024. Drove it back to North Dakota to get back in it full time. Have been in it back since then entirely. I'm gonna show you some examples of things that you will not see on this channel that you see on so many, and not just RV channels, travel channels, any of those. You will see them do things like this all over YouTube, and you will not find them here. Here's my first example. Sorry, I gotta get close to the camera. This is something you will never see. You know how on a hike they will set their camera up on a trail somewhere, walk away from their camera? Hell, right now I'm probably not even in frame. I don't know. I can't see the camera. You will not see that. You will not see me walk towards the camera on a trail. You will also not see this stupid shit. You ever notice how many people walk up to their camera, stationed down low, and bend over in front of it instead of standing upright somewhere in shot? What are these idiots doing? Now, granted, I understand it when there's very attractive woman who's bent over in front of you with a low cut top. Love that. But what are they really doing other than baiting men who enjoy looking at hot chicks' cleavage? Can't imagine. That's the second thing you'll never see is me do that. And once again, this is all going to be uncut. I should look to see whether the recording is still active. Appears to be. So normally you would see cutscenes, changes, music, things like that, overlaid, cutting out all the dead spots, the walking up to the camera, the turning of the camera. You won't see that here. I'm not going to invest, even if it only took 5 minutes of my time, to cut that 3 to 5 second section out, just to set up the shot that I was looking for, to make fun of. Yeah, it doesn't mean that much to me. I'm going to try, as I said before, to have fun with this, but not at the expense of my free time. People work hours doing these things that are as intensive as regular 9-to-5 jobs. The difference is those jobs pay. YouTube, continually you will find people say, I don't make enough off of YouTube. I figured out my hours working on a week and my pay for that week, and I made $6 an hour. Why? If all that time, frustration, and lack of response makes you that miserable, what the fuck are you doing? Isn't the whole point of being out here to relax, to enjoy? Now, hey, maybe there are people out there right now who just love the grind, or the ones who love the money, the high-end channels, the KYD, Less Junk More Journey. I watched those channels religiously in the beginning. I even met Less Junk More Journey in Indiana before we ever left on our trek. They spend who knows how many hours a day, a week, editing, socializing, networking, whatever. But they make shit tons of money off of it. That is a reward worthy of the time if you're willing to make it. I'm not. Never will. As I said, this channel will never have 1,000 subscribers. It will never reach 1 million hours of view time. I believe that's the criteria for monetization right now. Those numbers may have changed. Don't know. Don't care. Not going to happen. Even if I reach that criteria, to have 100 views a week is going to make 0.3 cents. Not 3 cents, 0.3 cents. As I said, that 0.3 cents would never even validate my 5 minutes of cutting out me turning the camera to make that shot. I have no idea how long of that trek I was in scene. You know how much I'm going to look over it, re-edit it, reshoot it? Not a fucking second. you get the gist. And if you don't, you're definitely on the wrong channel. I enjoy being out here. It's a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It is low 70s right now with a relatively healthy breeze. The rest of the country east of the Mississippi and even Texas, areas like that in the south, are getting absolutely hammered with cold, snow, ice, shit weather. I just finished discussing with my mom how shitty their weather is. She asked me what my weather was like. I told her. I used to brag about it, kind of thinking it was funny. More to rub it in, I guess. But now I've stopped bringing it up until she does. And I just tell her what the truth is. That is another thing you will find on this channel. You will get absolutely nothing but the truth. Trust me. Most people say they like hearing the truth. But by speaking the truth, I will tell you that most of those people who want to hear the truth are fucking lying. Because they only want to hear the truth when it doesn't involve them. Most people don't have the wherewithal to accept their own flaws, their own truths. I know who I am. One of the sayings I use is half of knowing yourself. Half of knowing yourself is knowing. See, I can't even get that out right. Half of knowing who you are is knowing who you are not. I am honest with myself as to knowing who I am not. Question is, are you? There will be no personal attacks on here. As I said, I love watching KYD and Let's Jump More Journey. I haven't watched a video of theirs in years. We just separated in our focus. I want to see more of this. All they're showing is this. So when you lose interest, you just go somewhere else. I think a lot of channels that used to have some success and have lost that should be honest with themselves into saying, why were we more popular than we are now? Maybe they would regain their success. Maybe not. Maybe it's too late. I do not have that worry. You will find nobody more self-deprecating than me. As I said, I know what I am, but I also know what I'm not. I am funny. I'm not particularly nice. They do call it brutal honesty for a reason. I'm not going to demean somebody, but I am going to tell them the truth. Hey, that's not right. Hey, you fucked up. Hey. Whatever the case might be. Hey, you don't look good in that. This is knowing who you're not. I am not focused. take way too many tangents. I am still in the LTVA North in Quartzsite, Arizona. This is Saturday the 31st of January. I know my last day here is the 2nd of February. That's probably the day. I don't think I'll leave tomorrow. It'll probably be Monday. I believe right now I'm going to go up to Plamosa Road, north of Quartzsite. I'm hoping it's relatively person-free. I prefer the quiet. Another thing my mother doesn't understand. I think after Plamosa Road, I'm going to be watching the weather in the Grand Canyon area, and then I'm probably going to head that way after 2 weeks on Plamosa Road. I'm going to try to spend 2 weeks in the Grand Canyon area, and then I'm going to move up towards Page, Arizona. I think there's some amazing places to see in that area. I've not been anywhere. I have been at the Grand Canyon, but I have not been anywhere surrounding that area. I want to see more. Like I said, the time that we've spent on the road, too much of it was not focused on sightseeing, which kind of contradicts the reason we came out here in the first place. I'm going to get back to that one way or another, forcibly. If I have to smack myself around, I guess I will. That won't get near as funny of a video as if my wife had done it, joking. But we're gonna focus more. There's gonna be more handheld camera on a tripod, walking on trail. As I said, less of this. Nobody wants to see this. I don't want to show this. But I don't mind discussing topics. Maybe I'll do it while holding the camera, walking down a trail in a beautiful spot, or sitting on a scenic location. I think Horseshoe Bend is up around Page, Arizona. That's one of the places I want to see. So, time will tell. We'll see how much of this actually got recorded and was audio recorded. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.